In the Mansion House Police Court on 10th of January 1838, the Lord Mayor announced that he had received 5 letters relative to an individual who was going about the metropolitan suburbs frightening females to such an extent that they were afraid to go out at night, as they were met by a man who, under different guises, would suddenly appear before them, and as suddenly disappear with terrible bounds, which earned him the name of Spring-Heeled Jack. Whoever he was, or why he so acted, was never known, as he was never taken, but certainly robbery had no part in his escapades, because he was quite content with paralysing the poor women with fright. The first facts I can gather about Jack are at the latter end of 1837, where Jack appeared in the suburbs of Barnes, East Sheen, Richmond, and after having terrorised that town, he went to Ham, Kingston and Hampton, where he was clad in brass armour with large claw-like gloves. Teddington, Twickenham and Hounslow were all visited by him, and at Isleworth we hear of him wearing steel armour, in which he seems to have been attired when seen at Uxbridge, Hanwell, Brentford, Ealing and Hammersmith, and was seen in the moonlight dancing at Kensington Palace. He varied his localities frequently, one day being at Peckham, another at St John's Wood, and anon at Forest Hill. Probably feeling that he had sufficiently terrorised the districts before mentioned, he turned his attention to the East End of London, and particularly favoured Bow. I know of 3 pamphlets on the subject. One, from which is taken the accompanying illustration, is entitled Authentic Particulars of the Awful Appearance of the London Monster, alias Spring-Heeled Jack, together with his extraordinary life, wonderful adventures, and secret amours. There is much more to be related of Jack, but space will not permit it. But whether too much attention was beginning to be paid to him with a view to his capture, or whether his love of mischief had died out, cannot be told. But certain it was that nothing was known publicly of his singular being after April 1838, having kept London in a ferment of excitement and terror for about 6 months. Now, as that extract points out, we're talking 1838 here, and this reference to the London Monster could be confusing. We've got to be careful not to confuse or sort of accidentally synthesise the Spring-Heeled Jack case with an earlier case from the 1700s where an attacker named the London Monster terrorised the city. The media and public hysteria around the monster grew, resulting in a manhunt across London, and eventually, in 1790, a man named Reinwick Williams, a flower maker, apparently, was arrested and accused of being the London Monster. The evidence against Williams was rather circumstantial, and his trial became a spectacle, drawing considerable public attention. Despite the dubious nature of the evidence, Williams was convicted and sentenced to 6 years in prison.